Okay, today's big trout fly, and it's something that I definitely saw up in Alaska, is a mouse pattern, and this is kind of my take on it. I took a couple of existing patterns and I made some modifications to get it the way I wanted it to. I mean, basically with the mouse fly, it's just you casting it out and it's dragging across downstream, and it's kind of waking like a mouse gradually swimming its way across the pool. So you just want the waking thing. I don't really need to make a deer hair mouse or anything that's that much exact, but I do have legs and I got a pretty good tail. So here's how we make this. Let's get started. So we got an intruder hook number 4, and we got rabbit fur flying everywhere, but this will be fun. So we're just going to start the thread, keep it up by the head of the fly, and trim that off. So I pre-prepared the mouse's tail, so I kind of cut the fur off, and I leave it kind of ratty. I kind of like that. And that's his tail. We're going to bind that in. And when I cut it off, I'm going to use it again in the body. So I put it in this tool and line it all up, because we're going to spin a loop in the body. So we've done all that. So let's get, this is going to go underneath the hook. So we'll get that in and bound down. And we got that bound down good. And we're just going to whip finish this. Just going to keep pulling the rest of his tail through. We'll get 3 wraps on the whip finish. And slide that down. And trim. And drop a head cement. So we got that. Now, take that out. So next thing is I got a streamer hook shank, which I pre-cut the hook part off of. Get that down. And we'll start the thread. Trim it. So we're going to grab a piece of 15-pound test leader material. That's going to attach the hook to the shank. So we'll grab our tail that we made. Get that going through the hook. So that's going to go like that. So we got his tail, and everything bound down. I'm going to pull that mono out for a second. Just hold it back, and I'm going to bind the tail. Up to there, trim it. These are going to go through the eye, like so, or not. And we're going to bind that down nice and tight all the way up. Going to trim them. About that much. And I use this all the time for this tandem fly method with the mono for tandem streamers. And I've never had a lake trout or any big fish pull that apart, but we're gonna add one more step for the structure. We'll just bring this all the way back, and we'll just add some super glue to that just to say we did. Get some super glue, and we'll let that dry and come back to it. So next we got our foam. So I've pre-prepared these. We got white for the bottom and a nice mousy gray for the top. So we'll do the bottom one first. And the top one. And while you're doing this, don't forget that you got that really sharp intruder hook in the back that you can stick in your finger. Okay, next thing, and what I left off of my first take of trying to do this fly, are the legs. So I got some micro rubber legs. These are grizzly, smoke colored, and we're just going to get those in. So we're going to zigzag and tie those in. And from there, I'll just go around the whole thing. And we got his back legs. Next, we have to do a dubbing loop. We'll get that going. Get some wax on that. And we'll grab our rabbit fur that we had. Get my dubbing twister handy. And just make a couple of adjustments here. And we're going to twist that up. And just kind of gently brush it out. Okay, so now we're going to bring that in to the mix. And tie that off. And we can trim that out. So we got to bring in one more set of legs. Do them the same way. Crisscross them. A couple times. And fold them back. And just bind them down. Now, I like to go with the white first because it's a little easier. And just kind of comb the hair out to either side as you go. Get the white piece in. You got to go perpendicular to that foam. So there's the white piece. We're going to get that down real tight. And I'm going to rotate the vise. I'm going to trim it as close as I can get it. Without cutting the thread. And I'm going to bind that down good and hard. I'm going to clean some of this up. The fun part about this is rabbit fur flies everywhere in the room. Okay. Then we're just going to kind of bring our gray part over. Keep the hair back out of it. Bind that down tight. And you want to go at least 10 times with this. Because that's the weak link of the fly. Get his mousy parts out. Okay, it's starting to look like something. We're going to trim the head of this right square. And we got to make the head of the fly. And we got some rabbit fur that didn't cooperate. And so on. So we're just going to clean it all up. got to make a big head to the fly. One pesky white spot in the foam that won't go. Okay, so now we got a whip finish. Trim that. And we'll just finish it up with a drop of, good generous drop of head cement. And you also have to do those threads up on the gray. So get some head cement. And cover that. It looks enough like a mouse with the gray and the white belly and all the fur and the legs that it should draw strikes from a nice trout. Thanks for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I really did. It's kind of an interesting fly. If you are a new subscriber, welcome. Glad to have everybody. We want to keep building the channel. If you haven't already done so, please like and subscribe to the videos. We put a new one out every week. Thanks again for watching.